must have done. Okay, let me just say I got it. It's recording. Yeah. Out.
Okay, Rebbe, we're good to start. We only have 4 people on, but we're recording, and hopefully I'll continue to push guys on the other groups. I'll spread it out to some more groups and see if we can get other guys on. It seems like it's pretty quiet out there today, so I'll push it to other groups now. But Rebbe can start whenever Rebbe's ready.
Okay. What kind of a day is it in the States? It's
Oh, it's like 65 degrees in Lakewood, cloudy.
a good golfing day, huh? I live guys that way. Okay, so here's a story, fellows. Here's a story. The names have been changed. It didn't take place in Ashdod, right? All the things have been changed, but the story is true. In the Feingold's home, there was a lot of excitement. A lot of excitement. Their daughter had just become engaged. Their first daughter to be married just became engaged. But the father, the family in general, and particularly the father, were a little bit troubled and a little bit concerned because they really didn't have much money. He learned a lot, and they you know, kollel and whatever. He really didn't have enough money to make the chasna, and of course in Eretz Yisrael you have to help towards the dira, so they didn't have very much money, but they Baruch Hashem, they have a chasna, and they got to do it. They got to do it. So they went to the hall to try to make the arrangements with the hall. Now this hall is unique in that it has one very big hall, beautifully set up, a beautiful hall, and had many small halls also, so they can do more than one chasna at the same time, 2 or 3 small halls and one big hall. So they went to speak to the wife of the person who owned the hall. And they sat down and they started talking to her. And she was asking all kinds of questions, and they wanted to pay over time, whatever it was. They as I said, they weren't very wealthy. In the middle of the talking, she looks at them and says, "Tell me something. Your name is Feingold. Do you have any relatives from Germany? Do you have any relatives from Germany?" So she was very much taken back because they came from a small town in Germany, and very few people knew people who lived in this town. But she said, "Yes, I do come from Germany," right? And then she asked, he says, "Do you mind if I ask you, do you know a Leo Feingold? Your name is Feingold. Do you know a Leo Feingold?" And and they smiled and said, "Yes, Leo Feingold." Her husband said, "Is my father. Leo Feingold is my father." He wasn't alive then, but yeah. So she stood up and it looked like she was about to cry. It looked like she was about to cry. And she said, I'm alive today, and my whole family is alive today, only because of your father. I did it again. It's not the first time. I told the second part of the story first. Ay, ay, ay. All right. So I spoiled the punchline. Ay, tough day. Yeah. So she said, I'm only alive today because of your father. Okay. So of course, what she wanted to do, she says, don't worry about the chasna. I'm going to make the chasna for you. Okay, look at they said, listen, we're not people of money. We don't want anything fancy. Please. She said, no, I don't want you to tell anybody, but I do want to make the chasna for you. I feel I owe it to your father, and this is a way of me returning the something, give something back towards all the help that they did to save me and to save my entire family. Okay, they come to the chasna, and everybody was astonished, right? Because it says out there, they post out which hall is the event in, and the event was in the big hall. The event was in the big hall. So they come into the big hall, and it was a set up beautifully. There were gorgeous flower decorations on every table. There was an 8-piece band that was playing. The table was set in a very lavish way. It was just a mind-boggling, beautiful, expensive hall and everything. And the people came. They were so puzzled. What's going on here? This is what we raise money for. We begged people to help out this family because they don't have money. They have to make a chasna, and we put the money, a little bit of money together, and we gave it to them. Why don't they save some to give to the chassan and kala? Why are they paying so much on this hall, right? It was just an amazing big thing, and the table where it was elegant. Was decorated magnificently, right? And they sat down to a 7-course meal. A 7-course meal. Wow. Even I feel full. And here they go. They're making a chasna way beyond their means. The people were astonished. They were puzzled, but they didn't want to say anything. And Mrs. Feingold could say anything because she had told this person wanted, it should be quiet. That doesn't want it to be announced. So people started talking among themselves, as people do. They started saying, this is what we collected money for, and this is why we tried our best to get a few pennies for them, right? And they make such a lavish affair which they can't afford. What's going on over here? And people talked, unfortunately. So people talked. No one had the audacity. Nobody had the chutzpah to ask the Feingolds what's going on. Nobody. And she wasn't supposed to say anything, so she didn't say anything. So here they go. They sit down. They have a tremendous meal. Lavish, beautiful. Band was playing, and then there seemed to be photographers everywhere. Tremendous chasna. Okay. On Shabbos, in the same hall, they were supposed to have also Sheva Brachas. So you come to the Sheva Brachas. Once again, the same thing. It's in the big hall. It's with all the decorations and the 7-course meal and bands and mamish, a huge event. And people are saying, what's going on? And they're wondering, how could it be? And And why don't they save the money for the chassan and kala? And why are they spending on a chassan, one night affair and a sheva? And they're spending money that they certainly can't afford. People started talking. And the Feingold started to feel a little bit a feeling of resentment. Feeling of resentment. Why are they doing this? We went and we raised money for them. And feeling of puzzlement and resentment. And then it was over. They went back to Ashdod, right? And the people in their community also, whenever they talked to them, they felt that there was a feeling of surprise and resentment. So what did they do? So finally, Mrs. Feingold couldn't take it anymore. And she went back to her benefactor and she asked, please do me a favor. I can't take the resentment. Let me tell the Rav. Let me tell Rabbi Weiss, let me tell Rabbi Weiss about what really happens. And she said, look, if people are resenting it, so you can go tell them. So that Leil Shabbos, after they ate their Suda, her husband went over to Rabbi Weiss and said, Rabbi Weiss, I wanted to tell you about the chasna we made. Can I have a few minutes? And Weiss was very interested because he himself had questions. He himself didn't know what was going on. He says, yeah, please sit down. So he told Rabbi Weiss the whole story, from beginning to end. And Rabbi Weiss promised, she said, please, Rabbi Weiss, he said, please, Rabbi Weiss, tomorrow at the davening, explain to the people what really happened. So there it was. They came to daven the next morning, and after Kriyas Torah, Rabbi Weiss got up on the bima, and he said, I have to share something with you. I have to share something with you. And he started from beginning to end, and he said to them, this is the story. This is the story. That this person, right, the owner of the hall, right, was saved from the Nazis at the risk of Mr. Feingold's father, right, of his father, and that saved her, and it saved her whole family, right? And she was so full of Hakoras Hatov that she says, don't worry about the chasna, forget about it, I'm making it for you. And she made it. And we even asked her, please don't make it fancy because we're not wealthy people. But she did ask us not to talk about it, not to tell people who paid for it. That she wanted it to keep quiet. He said, but I can't take the resentment. The rabbi said she found it difficult to take the resentment. And now the people once again before they were very surprised and shocked at what they were observing, and now were they surprised and shocked at themselves. Because they assumed that here is go, she's spending money that she really doesn't have, right? They had no way they realized that they didn't have the facts. They made their decisions, they made their attitudes, and they made their resentment without having the facts. And as I said, when I saw this story, it was Parshas Kedushin. I was supposed to give it last week, but because Levaya wasn't able to. It was Parshas Kedushin, right? And it was Parshas Kedushin. So we know that we have a pasuk in Parshas Kedushin. B'tzedek tishbot amisecha. B'tzedek tishbot amisecha. And the second pshat, Rashi says, Kamash Ma'od, like the Pasha pshat, and also having done the Kaf Schus, because we are all shoftim, we're all judges. If we want to be or not, the situation makes us all into judges. And it says, having done the Kaf Schus, give the person the benefit of the doubt, right? And if they would have been done the Chav Schus, right? And I add to it, at least, okay, you couldn't figure it out. It was just, even if you're done the Chav Schus, you don't know. It's a very unusual story, right? But if you're done the Chav Schus, so then ask, go over this. Listen, please excuse me for asking. It's none of my business, but I'm sure you understand that we all have this question: how could you afford such a magnificent chasna and shever brachas? How could you afford them when we all planted, right? If they would have asked her, then she would have told. She would have told them something. Right? But so the rabbi got up there and he told the congregation that those who said things and resented, right? You didn't have all the facts. And this is a lesson that we have to teach ourselves, not to jump to conclusions, not to criticize, not to find fault with others if we don't have all the facts. We just have to have all the facts. And okay, this Motzei Shabbos will start Ba'omer. We're getting ready for some very, very special times. And we're mourning the loss of the Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva, Talmidim, and because they didn't treat each other with enough respect, right? So as a way of that avodah, to prepare ourselves for Lag Boma when there was a mess, when they stopped passing away, right? So we have to try to treat each other the way it's meant to be, to give each other the benefit of the doubt, and even if we can't do it, we try, we can't. It's too hard. It's impossible. We can't explain it. But go and ask. Go and ask. Don't just allow yourself to resent something, to feel bad about something, to be critical of other people. Just go there and ask them, please, please. We can't figure it out. Help us out. That's the story. And I think we can all learn from that story. What do you say, fellas? We can learn from that story. Okay, I see some
absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's very timely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great lesson. Thank you for sharing, Rabbi.
okay. My pleasure. My pleasure. And especially now we're in a difficult time. In a difficult time, I look up every morning on Shiva World News, and it's come out almost this day. One person, two people, 20 years old, 21 years old, young people, their life ahead of them, and we have enemies, and we need so much Siyata Shemaya. The way to get Siyata Shemaya is to treat each other the way we are meant to. That's the way to get to Siyata Shemaya, so we can all see the end of this terrible war and once again there can be peace in the land, and we can all join each other, all come together to each other to dance in Yerushalayim with the binyan of Bayis Shlishi. The pain will be amazing.
Oh, man.
Okay, fellas, it was good. It's good to share the story with you, and
Thank you.
my pleasure.
Thanks, Rebbe.
Okay, have a especially good week, and share only B'Sar Service.
Amen. Thank you.